Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your friend. Today, we're gonna kicking off the bonus call for week 2 Q&As, and then followed after that by kickoff call for week 3. Sorry, I'm excited here with the team. A couple of people are not here. Debla is traveling, and Paul also is traveling back to the US. And we had a very successful TEDx talk on Saturday. I had the honor of speaking as well. Went very well. And who else? Mark Overton is also traveling. But they're going to be catching the replay. So here we are. Let's get going. First things first. How is it going for you guys for week 2? Any questions? Bring them now. Let's get going. Let's start with, go ahead, David. Yes.
So my question is, when I did my recordings, there was a little bit of a silent gap in the beginning because I was just getting the technology right. Is that a challenge to have like 4 or 5 seconds silence before you actually get going?
I would recommend you cut that off, especially if you don't intend on putting any intro music or anything at the start. So learn to edit. It's very easy. Go watch again the video from day 3. I think it's day 4 when I show how to edit. Just do it. It's okay. You can do as many takes as you want because again, we're not live yet. So don't worry about that. Don't shoot for perfection, but try to be as professional as possible. And if you do if you have a silence at the beginning, say 2-3 seconds, it's okay. Because the more imperfect you are, within reason, obviously, the more you can, the audience will connect with you, will relate with you. If you're too professional, like a professional Hollywood style setup and all that, you will lose people. Be authentic. So this is why I barely do any editing of my episodes myself. I only do editings if the other person requests me to take some part off. Other than that, I don't do any recording. I can count in 1, now 2 hands, and over 350 episodes in almost 4 years, the number of times I had to do editings. And also because I don't want to create extra work for myself. Let's be honest. Because editing can be tedious. So don't worry about that. Do another take, play around. The more takes you do, the more you're gonna get familiar with it. The more you're gonna get better. So don't worry about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's next? Question. Gifty, any questions?
For me, I'm still working on the technical thing. I got everything and the instructions, but to translate it into practice, and I think I had a chance to watch Hamis and interviewing others. So I get it, but it's like I need hand-holding a bit. That to do the technology to get
Did you reach out to Bernadette because she's part of your accountability partner? Did you reach out to her?
Yes, I did, but I think she probably is busy, so I didn't get a response.
Yeah.
So I've not seen her posting anything to the group, so I guess she's busy. But in absence of that, if anybody can help me navigate the tech, I appreciate that.
Snow, what are you saying? Can hear you, brother. You want to help? You want to be an accountability partner? All right, you can help Gifty. We have a wonderful gentleman here, my brother Snow. He said he can
hey.
the alumni from last year.
Okay.
Malaysia. This guy went all in, and he literally built a massive podcast studio in his office in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So talk to him. He's a super technical pro.
Oh, please send me your stuff.
Connect.
Please,
I will connect you to after that. And
yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thanks
so much.
And help each other. I love the spirit. So thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The best is to connect on Facebook so you can, get to talk and set up a time to talk. So if you Gifty, if you check the chat, Snow put email.
I've got.
I will also connect you two on messengers. I think that's going to be the best way for you guys to connect. And yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hamish, brother, bring your questions.
I think it's a bit more of an observation. I think if I hadn't started my podcast and a week, the expectation was to have my branding, logos, and everything, I would be overwhelmed. You know, it's the technical week is brilliant, but it's it almost needs longer. And the Q&A you're doing now, I think this is brilliant. I think a Q&A every week, open office, whatever you want to call it, I think is brilliant. And I think that's really important. But yeah, I mean, as I said, fortunately, I've spent months doing my branding and getting the logos right, and the consistency, which I shared. It'll change. It's going to change again, and it'll probably change again and rebranded. But it does take time, and I think that's really important to acknowledge that. Absolutely. And everyone who's doing it, just make the time. But it will take longer than you want. Yeah, absolutely. And I heard that before as well. But as my coach Jay would say, focus on your MMAs, money-making activities. For example, me, I still don't have a logo. The logo is not going to make you money. What's going to make you money is getting your message out there, making offers. So don't get bogged down by smaller things, spending like months at a time or weeks at a time for a logo or a banner or a website. The most important thing is to get your message, get your gifts, and start making offers out there ASAP. The logo is not gonna, what's gonna make you money or not. What's gonna make you money is making the connections, networking, inviting people, and making offers. So focus on that. Yes, having a logo is important, and having, your message and all that to have congruence, especially your branding, your colors, absolutely, yes. But don't let that stop you from doing what you need to do to make money. Focus on your MMAs, money-making activities. Ask yourself, be ruthless. Is this making me money? If yes, keep doing it. If not, put it on the shelf or outsource it. There's a lot of options out there to outsource. There is freelancers. Deborah has an outsourcing company, virtual assistants. Reach out to her. And there's loads of options out there. Or even you can just whip a logo on Canva pretty fast yourself and just get going, just get started. And I do realize that, yes, the information at times can be a bit too much, and that's because I do want to make sure that you guys have all the information. I don't want to skim through the things out of respect for you guys, and also because, hey, we need to have the full information. Remember what I said in the beginning? Build your program, build your business the way you wished existed when you were starting. When I was starting, I wish there was a program like this to take me through every step of the way. And this is why I'm putting everything I've learned over the last 3.5, 4 years and share that with you guys without holding anything. Even in my free 5-day challenge, I tell people, if you were just to implement that, you can start making money. And I have had people that got leads, started making money by just implementing the information from the free challenge. So, and also keep in mind, even though this is a 4-week program, you do it at your own pace. If it takes 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or even 3 months, it's okay. Nobody's going to kick you out. Nobody's going to laugh at you. Because again, the only competition is the Amish of yesterday, the Gifty of yesterday, the Carolyn of yesterday, the Maya of yesterday, the Snow of yesterday, David of yesterday, the Graham of yesterday, the Payment of yesterday. That's your only competition. So don't feel bad if you're falling behind. It's okay. And also as a member, you're a member for life. You can come and attend any future 5-day challenges, or even every future classes, because you're a member for life. You don't have to pay again to attend any future classes. That's one thing that I'm really happy. Other programs charge you to pay extra to attend future event. But for me, again, I include that you're a member for life. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you're very welcome. Again, because I'm building my program the way I wished existed. Because just like you guys, I've been in program that I was promised the moon, paid a ton of money, and as soon as I got my money, never to be seen. Good luck. Submit a ticket. Good luck even talking to the person behind the brand. No, you were talking to an assistant, and on a call, you had 355 people. You not even get a chance to submit your question. No. And I wanted my program to be the exact opposite of that.
So again, remember that. Build your program the way you wished existed when you were starting. And I'm practicing what I'm preaching right here. So don't feel bad if you fall behind. We are very supportive of each other. Everybody's friendly. Like, for example, Snow, Graham, two very successful alumni of a program. Graham from just the last one in June, right, Graham?
Yeah,
In June?
yeah. I was going to say that, yeah, I mean, one of the things that I found, I spent 20 years broadcasting for a national broadcaster in Australia, and I still learnt a lot from the podcasting course. But I agree with you. Don't rush it. You can do a logo, as you can see. I've got a logo for my business, but it really it's about not being a perfectionist, just enjoying it. It can take, I mean, I'm a bit the same. I keep going over and over the name and the logo and repeat, and then I go, hang on a minute, this is a waste of my time. Let's just get on and do it. So yeah, but I can say it certainly taught me a lot, but it does take time. Everything takes time. And just the main thing is enjoy
Absolutely.
as you go along.
The key takeaway is focus on the MMAs, money making activity. If it makes you money, focus on it. If not, outsource it or put it on the shelf. And Graham and Amish, you guys should connect because just like you, Amish is also a veteran in the broadcasting industry in the UK.
Okay.
So yeah, get connected, guys.
Will do. I'll pop my details in the chat. Hamish,
Awesome.
and that'll be great.
Raymond, me too,
Yes.
by the way.
Oh yes,
That'd be
absolutely.
great.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Graham, thank
Hey,
you.
let's create what do you call it? Mastermind of broadcasting professionals. You know.
Broadcasting and entertainment, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Let's see. Carolyn, what questions do you have, my friend? Anything to do about week 2?
Still work in progress, as they say.
How far are you? How many days? Which day are you in?
I'd need to go back to have a look. I had a one-to-one with a chat with Juliana.
Oh, I forgot Juliana. Where is she? Oh my God, where is she? I forgot about her. Yeah, Juliana is amazing. Juliana.
Yeah, it was a great chat with her, and chatted over a few things. But yeah, still working on Stoner Genius and
Beautiful. I will share with you guys a video I saw a week ago, and I found this video absolutely phenomenal. I will share it with you guys. I will actually incorporate into the teachings next week because that's extremely powerful. I'm not going to say anything now because I don't want to butcher it, but I will share it in the group later today. I invite every single one of you to watch it. It's a 20-minute video by Jim Rohn, a very successful and famous American motivation speaker and public speaker. And I want you guys to watch it, and then next week we're gonna dissect it and implement it into your business because this is absolutely gold. I will share with you guys actually 3 videos for you to watch and implement because those 3 videos will really give you more clarity as far as finding a zone of genius and answering the question, what do you do? Things like that in a very attention grabbing way. So I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to share those videos later on today. I'm going to share the first one today and over the next week. This week, sorry, I'm going to share the other 2 videos, absolutely gold. And this is going to help you as well. Awesome. Any other questions? Did I forget anyone about week 2? Gifty, do you have any more questions? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, David. Come back to you in a moment. Gifty. Go ahead, David.
So what I'm hearing here is, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, is we're not looking for perfection, which is not a problem for me because I understand it. So as you are, like I say to Maya, go out there as you are, obviously depending on how you feel. So go out there and be, excuse me, yourself. And what I've also found is when you actually start talking, the ideas start coming. I have a sort of script that I sort of stick to, but it goes to that. So what I'm hearing is don't look for perfection. actually go and do it. And it's that analogy of build the aeroplane while you're flying. You don't have to build it completely 100% on the ground before you try and take off. Build the aeroplane while you're flying. Am I correct in that sort of idea?
Absolutely. And speaking of airplane, we have an actual a pilot right here.
So I'm going to put my mic on just for this moment, just so I can just make this slight criticism. Please, please, please do not build your airplane while you're flying. Don't do that.
He's an ex-military, so he knows what he's talking about. And he flown quite a few of those big boys. So
Yeah, it's like the analogy if you can't fix a moving car, if you can't change a tire on a car if it's moving. I think there's certain things, David, that it's really important that you just go with, but there are certain other things definitely that can literally create a car crash if you don't take a little bit extra time. Yeah.
But I guess
inside this group, I gotta bounce, guys. But inside this group, I would offer the advice or to piggyback off of who was that? That was Anthony, David. In this group, absolutely go out and look to make mistakes. I promise you, I try to not make the mistakes, and it took me just too long. But that's my process, and I'm okay with it. But I would encourage you all, get out there in this platform and make the mistakes. It does zero harm and a lot of benefit. So that's my 2 cents.
Absolutely. David, just to piggyback on what you're saying, there's an American saying that says, fail fast, fail forward. You know, just keep, because as you said, build your airplane while you're flying. And we just heard from an actual pilot, that's not a smart thing to do. But the thing is, the best way to learn is by actually implementing it, doing it. Just like when we first learned from crawling to walking to driving to running a bike, anything like this. It's okay. Make your mistakes. Embrace your mistakes, because your mistakes are your greatest teachers. It's not like high school laughing at you. No, we are here to support, and it's okay to make mistakes. And actually, when you do make mistakes, you will become even more relatable, more likable, more trustable, because hey, that's what everybody does. If you're too perfect, not making a mistake, you're not human. Maybe you're Elon Musk, but even Elon Musk has had more failures than anyone can imagine. So again, don't worry about mistakes, and absolutely be yourself, speak from the heart, share your story. That's the gist of it. You don't have to build a business around, say, the environment, the economy. You don't have to learn anything. You just share your story by speaking from the heart. You do it every day. You've done it all your life. Now do it with purpose, with passion.
Can I add something, Payman?
Please.
Something's just popped into my brain. It just occurred to me, of course, that, you know, we're often in life our worst critics, aren't we? Right? We beat ourselves up and we don't think we're this, that, and the other. And other people, especially strangers, mostly don't actually judge us by the filters that we judge ourselves by.
Yep.
That's number one. And number two, we are here for our audience, not for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So what your audience wants from you and will learn to expect from you is what you train them to want and expect from you, as long as you're serving their needs. So it's not about us. We always forget that. This is not about us. This is about other people. And from that comes our revenue.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
But I think
ahead.
what you said is right. But then again, if you are talking whatever you're talking about, you have to be a role model, a source of inspiration. So you have to get the balance right. And as Payman said, where you've messed up or you didn't get right, you have to be open about it and how you overcame that aspect of your challenge. So if I'm helping people to have a shift in their mindset, obviously I have to demonstrate that I have done it and I'm able to rise above before I can encourage someone also.
I'm going to add something, because I think this is, sorry, Payman, I don't want to take over your group.
Go
But
ahead.
this is so important
It's
for me
okay.
to say. Right, so when I was a youngster, I've always been big, and my parents decided that exercise was the best thing, and the thing that I excelled at was tennis. okay? And I ended up with a professional coach called Laszlo, who was Virginia Wade's coach, okay? Very privileged I was. And he saw something in me that other people who saw this fat kid didn't see, right? And what he instilled in me was the ability to see myself through other people's eyes in a positive way, right? And the other thing I want to say is that as a coach, he wasn't a Wimbledon winner, but he made Wimbledon winners. So you do not have to be that ideal, whatever it is you think you need to be to help other people and influence people. You simply need to guide them in the direction that they want to go in. And that I feel very strongly from my heart. That's what I wanted to say. So I'll now stop talking. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. That's powerful. Thank you. And yet, by sharing your story, by speaking from the heart of and sharing how you've overcome whatever you went through, you're displaying your expertise because you overcame that. So that means you're an expert in that. So again, by simply sharing your story, speaking from the heart, and sharing how you overcame whatever the person that is going now through that, they can get not only inspired, but they're going to see an actual blueprint, how to implement the same steps. Literally, what people are looking for is just someone that is just a few steps, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of them, extending their arm and say, grab my hand, I'll get you out of the hole you're in. Someone they can relate, someone that is accessible and trustworthy. That's all people want. And by you sharing your story, how you overcame whatever crap you had to overcome, again, you're gonna display expertise, earn trust, and it's gonna snowball into a beautiful win-win relationship, business relationships. So, any other questions? Bring him on, guys.
Payman, I like what you're saying there, where you literally say we don't have to be 20 steps ahead of our students. We need to just be 4. Because my mentors are Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, and that I'm not. And I don't pretend to be that. And that imperfection, in when you look at those guys and they do a video, they've got a whole studio behind them with professional camera people and tech people, and I don't have that. You can see this is my background,
budget and all that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why be as relatable as possible. Be you. If you're having a call from your, whether it's from your living room, from your dining room, from your bedroom, whatever, it's okay. You're Mr. Everybody. You're Miss Everybody. That's what people want to see. I can relate with them. I can relate with her. That's it. That's all people want. And absolutely, people don't want to work with a billionaire because they're completely disconnected. They live in a different reality. Like you mentioned, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and all that. It would be wonderful to work with those people, but they're not relatable. So again, your crap is your gold. What you overcame is basically what you successfully overcame is what other people are currently struggling with. That's what they need. They want a big brother, a big sister to say, hey, grab my hand. I'll get you out. You'll be okay because I did it. If I did it, so can you. You're a cheerleader. You're an accountability partner. You're a mentor, a guide, big brother, big sister, whatever you want to call it. That's what people want. And you all guys have that capacity in you because you've all overcome incredible challenges in your life. I've spoken to all of you, so I know the gifts that you guys have. So use your crap as your gold, literally. Hamish, any question, brother?
I don't think so. No, I think I'm just excited the way it's going, and I'm really enjoying making an hour a day for accountability. It is hard work, but it is absolutely worth it because when you've got the combined brains of me and Maya, you can save the world.
Oh yes, she's amazing.
So yeah, that's why we're mates. Yeah, I think it's plod on. You know, I'm using Facebook and LinkedIn to find guests. I'm having conversations on all sorts of platforms, and that's really, really useful. I'm putting that list of 20 together. I'm narrowing it more down, as you said, around people who've overcome drugs and alcohol in business. I chatted to some person and realized I watched 10 of his reels 5 minutes before I called him. So it's stuff like that. So it's connect with people, which is what you said. And because I've got the podcast already, I'm doing that. And it's time consuming, but it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Hamish, I've got a friend who I've connected with who's also working with drugs and alcohol and recovering. So I might connect you up if you want to chat to him. He's got an amazing story, been homeless, now he's doing all these wonderful things after a really tough time. So I've got to leave, but look, I've got your email address, so I'll connect you with him as well. And he might be good for your podcast.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, no, I've got your details. So yeah, we'll connect
Cheers.
after, definitely.
You
See you
guys,
guys. Good luck on the journey.
thank you. You guys are all inside the Facebook Academy. Don't be shy. Reach out to each other. Get on calls with each other and get on each other's podcast. Just by going on each other's podcast, you can fill, if not all, but at least half of your 10, 15 foundational episodes. These are the lowest hanging fruits, only to get to know each other. Maybe you can, by knowing each other, you can just like Graham said, someone would be a great guest for you, Hamish, and so on and so forth. Maybe Maya knows someone that could be an amazing connection for Carolyn, and through that, a beautiful partnership can be born. That's the magic of networking. So reach out to each other. Don't be shy. Get on calls with each other, even if you're not accountability partners. Don't wait for me to do it for you guys.
All the best.
No, that
Take care,
sounds
brother.
good.
Take care.
Please take care.
Goodbye. Ciao. Good night. Quite late for him today. It's like 11 o'clock in Australia, 10, 11. Awesome.
You did say, Payman, you did say we could invite each other onto our podcast when we get it ready. I
Yes.
don't know if everyone is in agreement before one initiates. What do you? I mean, that's your suggestion, but if
Raise your hand if
I'm
you
not
agree. Raise your hand if you agree. Does that answer your question, Gifty?
yes, it does.
There
I
you
didn't
go.
want to intrude, but I know Hamish is put and Maya has put their number, so it might be.
You guys are all inside the Facebook group. Reach out to each other. That's the fastest way. Or if you prefer to connect on WhatsApp or whatever, on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but you know what? Payman, Gifty and I are definitely not Facebook people by nature, and we can learn to be a bit more, but it's not a natural place for me to hang out.
Yeah. But I'll keep in touch, Maya.
Yeah, ditto.
Thank you.
I'm not a Facebook guy neither, but Facebook is a gold mine, especially Facebook groups.
Beginning.
Tap into that, guys.
I will do.
Cool. Carolyn, any other questions? Okay. David, any other questions? Okay. Payman, any questions? No, I'm good.
I can ask another question in terms of the Facebook.
We have some more time. Yeah, go ahead.
Facebook, just clarifying, I've got a personal one that I started not long ago, and you did recommend that I should have a business one with my cover.
A business, what's your say it again? Say that again.
The Facebook that I've got as my personal one. Does everyone have a business Facebook, like profitable one, which I haven't got? So
you mean, does everyone have a page as well as a personal profile?
Yeah. That's what she's asking. Yeah.
Is that the same?
You have to have a personal profile.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have a profile in order to have a page.
Yeah.
And I do have from the past, because I've had outsourced teams, and for years I've done many things. So I have pages that I don't use them. And I actually asked Hamish the other day, can I change the name of one of my pages for the podcast? And he said, yes, I could change an existing page into something else. So that's what I'm personally going to do. So because it's already got traction out there in the world. It's indexed in Google and stuff like that. So all my old pages. And if anyone wants any slight conversation around SEO, copywriting, various other bits and pieces, I am here. I do get a bit busy sometimes, but I am here and I can answer lots of questions. I've been in that arena and in marketing for 20 plus years.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So even your personal profile, Facebook, for example, I would put a banner. Let me share my screen and show you mine as a way to inspire you guys. Let me find mine. Just give me 1 second. Where is it? Where's my profile? Okay. Is it this one? Nope. Oh, here. Okay, let me share my screen here. Even if you don't have a business profile, at least make your personal profile a banner that tells people who you are, what you do. See that? That's something I created on Canva. And actually, I will have a Canva expert do a talk for us on later this week. I will have at least 2 expert talks. We'll have 2 live calls this week, and I will tell all of that at the end of the call. Highly invite you guys to come. And one of them will be a Canva queen and social media queen. My dear friend here, she will talk to us how to create this beautiful killer professional banners. This is my personal Facebook page. I don't have a professional. This is my Facebook, and of course I have Facebook groups for the challenge. Like here, let me find, is this the one? And I have one for, like here, let me show you. This is for the challenge. But again, this is something I created specifically for the challenge, 5-day challenge. Again, I created all of this on Canva myself. This one actually my friend I'm gonna bring, she wrote it, she created for me. And then also I have one for the academy, which is right here. But again, starting out, you don't need to have all of that. Just start with your own personal one. And as you build your group, and this is what I'm gonna be sharing with you guys, how to build, how to tap into leveraging social media, especially Facebook, how to build community. I will have a killer expert do a talk for us next week, and all of that. So again, your personal, start first with just this, your personal banner. So when someone that doesn't know you, but they may be a prospect, they know right away, okay, what do you do? Don't when we talked on Saturday, Gifty, your profile picture as the picture of a cruise ship. That's good, but I would recommend you change that to put something that shows what you do, who you help, with what. And that's something that we can agree together on. I believe it's gonna be on Wednesday. So we'll have a live call on Wednesday and live call on Thursday. I'm gonna mention that at the start of well, in about 20 minutes when we start the class for today rather. I'm gonna mention all of that. So yeah, so this is very important, but we're gonna help you. I'm gonna help you do that together.
Right.
So if you don't have one, again, it's not rocket science. I will and the beautiful thing with Canva, it has tremendous amount of selections that you can just use and just plug in your information. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Let me check the chat. Yes. Do you guys are you guys mostly on Facebook or on WhatsApp? Would you guys prefer if I were to start a WhatsApp group as opposed to we already have a Facebook Messenger group? Is it more convenient for you guys? If it is, put your WhatsApp.
I think both are great. Me personally, if there's too many messages in a WhatsApp group, I make it silent because it's overwhelming.
Exactly.
But and it's difficult to track, but it is definitely useful for one-off notifications of like this, what's going on. Me personally, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for us two chatting because there's no tracking it. I think in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think Facebook is fine for me. It will help me build my confidence.
Good. Because Facebook is a very powerful platform to learn because it's absolute gold mine. Like up to now, 80% of my clients have come from Facebook groups, sorry.
You know, Cayman, it's a very funny thing because I think that what I'm going to say again is I don't think it matters which platform you're on, as long as you understand how to use that platform to get the results. that you want. And I'm going to tell you a little story. Years and years ago, I have a blog that's still running, that's been running for 13 years. And I wrote an article about chakras in this blog, and I posted it on one of my Facebook pages. And it sat there, nothing happened. And one year when I was absolutely broke, I get a text in Facebook saying, saw your article, I want you to help my business. Okay, says me. So I go and I find this guy, and it's got nothing to do with energy medicine or anything. He was an educational company in the States. He liked my writing. He zoned into my energy. He said, you are the copywriter with the spirituality that I need. And that was it, 12 grand overnight, boom. So you never know. Once you start putting content out there, thank you. Once you start, I have another story. Once you start putting content out there, you never know what's going to happen to it. Number two, I have a quote that somebody said, I put up on Facebook years ago. Can I put it in my quote book? She promoted the quote book, but there must be 200,000 versions of it now on Pinterest. I'm not kidding, and all over the web. Success Magazine printed that quote in their magazine. There's a guy gets on the plane, became he's now one of my best friends, was a client for 2 years. And that one quote, guys, earned me £75,000. So just create content.
Share your gift.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So just get yourself out there, you know, and you will be amazed with the intention that the right people find you, and somehow they do. And I have more stories like that, because didn't promote myself for that kind of work, right? I didn't promote myself as a copywriter ever. People just found me.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah.
As to which platform you should spend more time, again, it comes back to what we covered in week 1. Number 1, identify what is the pain point you're solving. Number 2, for who. And number 3, where is that person hanging out the most? If your avatar is mostly on LinkedIn, that's where your focus should be. If it's on Facebook, that's where it should be. So again, there's no random decision. Everything is very strategic, very logical. That's how we built it. So look at your avatar and then ask yourself, where is that person hanging out the most? And wherever that person is, that's where you should put your energy towards. But I will tell you, Facebook, especially Facebook groups, are absolute gold mine. I am bringing a guy on Monday. Some of you may know him, Tyson Sharp. He's the, why is my microphone? That built an incredible community. And that community has been incredible in terms of getting business and leveraging that to build your business organically. Because again, it's all about trust. It's all about connections. It's all about rapport. And you can use a Facebook group to nurture your audience. I'm not saying selling, but nurture, build connection, build rapport, and build trust. And once you have trust, it's a natural, automatic, organic progression. Hey, what do you do? Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Can you help me? I'm looking for a copywriter. I heard that, Maya, you do copywriting. Oh, let's get on a call. That's how business is supposed to be, as opposed to being pitched and trying to, coerced into doing business. So this is how we do it. It's how it's done, organically in a fun way. And for that, Facebook group is absolutely phenomenal. Any other questions? We have about 10 more minutes for week 2, or even if you have any question about week 1, because we're a small group tonight, let's do it. I remember, David, you mentioned that you wanted to brainstorm on your avatar and on your statement, because you posted your cover part. It's beautiful. I like it, but it's a bit vague. Let's brainstorm together on that right here.
Okay, so I've got some ideas on that. The next one is, I've got 2 lines: craving and climbing for the right transformation in your life, or find your voice for the right transformation in your life.
Who is that targeted to?
That's targeted for the people like myself that are basically, and I've written it here, who my target is 50 plus, who are smart, ambitious, hardworking, and sharp, and are struggling to find the doorway to go where they know and they want more from life.
Love that.
That's what I'm aiming for.
That I would recommend that whole sentence. Use that in your intro at the start of every podcast. Short, sweet, to the point. The first 5-10 episode. We're going to cover that, I believe, today. Use that for your short intro at the start of every episode. But on your cover art, call out your audience, or at least identify them. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Maya.
No, I just don't understand where the voice bit comes in based on the description of your target. And I think that there is a requirement really to get inside their head, and this is what I would say to anyone. What is your target thinking about that they don't tell anyone? If you can answer that question, what is the secret thing that wants them in their head, and that that's, you know, because if you can state that, you will hook them in immediately. Yeah, that's one of the most critical things. What are they thinking that you don't know, that nobody knows, they don't tell anyone? So are they thinking there's got to be more to life than this? Are they thinking, you know, oh, what are their regrets? Okay, what is it that they haven't done? Where do they want to, you know, my mother once said to me, my whole life's a bloody disappointment, right? And she's one of the most accomplished, extraordinary people you could ever meet. And it's like that quote that I want to put out there, that the next one I'm going to promote, which is there's no greater sadness than succeeding at something that you don't love.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Okay. It's so most of my clients struggle with that one. And it's kind of like, so just find that to go and talk to these smart people like you and ask them what they don't tell anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do you not tell anyone?
I love that.
Sorry. Well, yeah. So I said to David downstairs this morning, something about, oh yes, he's so smart. My other half just adores me as I am, and he calls me names that really don't suit my body. He said, he looked at me this morning, he said, "You're my darling gazelle." And I thought, how fabulous. And I said, I would love to be a gazelle. And then I looked at him and I said, but not enough to do the work to get there. So we'll push that to one side. You understand? So it's like, so what is the thing that they're thinking about that kind of they wish they would have, but they don't, as you said, they don't have the doorway to get there, and they don't quite believe it's possible for them, but with a bit of a nudge, it opens up, and then you'll have it. Sorry, I'll stop talking now.
No, it's okay. We love listening to you. So many beautiful insights.
To answer that, Maya, that's why I actually said, find your voice, because that's literally what the podcasting is going to do for me, is me finding my voice. I've changed, you don't know very about me, but I've changed careers 10 times. I'm on career number 10.
Wow.
And part of that reason is I've never defined myself by my job. And it's literally I'm looking for something. And I said to my brother yesterday, God's been talking to you my whole life. It's just in the last few years I'm starting to listen.
Well, I think that in itself is a very powerful concept, right? It's like, so what has your heart been telling you that you've been too scared to hear? You know, you look at it from that perspective of yeah, especially our generation. My God, you know, we've always it's my father generation older than me, but you know, he was an amazing artist, visual artist and sound artist, and it was that whole thing of you'll never make a living doing that. So he moved into a career that didn't suit him and killed himself. Boom, in the end.
Literally killed himself?
Because
wow.
My dad killed himself when I was 18.
That's
right? He just couldn't cope with anymore, you know, doing his best to live up to the expectations that everyone had of him and failing miserably, and then being criticized for who he was as a human. He just couldn't cope with it anymore. And that was it. He made that option to leave. Yeah. And he was enmeshed in failure to the point where it was his identity, and really sad. And you know, so, and I think to the point where one of his friends said to me on a plane flying back from Marbella when I was 16, He said, you know, if your father took on an ice cream franchise in Puerto Banús, it would rain all summer. You know, he was immersed in failure. I know exactly, right? But he was immersed in failure.
Wow.
And I think that is, so when you go so far, it's not so much, I mean, in his case, it was so far against his true nature that it crippled him and shriveled him and killed him. There was no point in going on. But I think for many people, there is this so for me, you know, my problem is I'm good at lots of things and I have lots of passions. But what I don't do, the only time I do the like craft work, like make curtains for my house or make rugs and stuff, is when I'm too sick to actually work. Because I love you understand? So there's that bit of like, well, you know, if you haven't found a way of expressing yourself with your hands, this is podcast to come to. You see what I mean? So for you, David, what is that thing in you and in your audience that they just don't do? They just don't do, and then you'll get them every single time.
You see, I'm blessed from that point of view. I only got married when I was 50. I got married when I was 50. So my younger years is I could change careers where I could literally, and I changed careers when I was a younger person because I looked at this and said, I can't do this shit for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Change. And I never had a family that I had to bring in X amount of money, that I was stuck in this pigeon hole and saying, like your dad said, I've got to do this to bring the money in, and I'm that unhappy that he you know, checked out.
Yeah, you know, pills and alcohol was his thing for years before. I'm so on this. But okay, so David, it doesn't sound to me like you are your audience. It actually sounds to me like a milder version of my dad and the rest of us in this room are your audience. Okay, so what you have is that freedom that they didn't have, and that's what you can teach them. Freedom and flexibility to embrace their true nature, right? Of a particular age group and a particular thing. So I would not take your experience. If I was your marketing person, I would say, put your experience to one side and go and interview 10 people who would be your ideal audience, and then come back and tell me what they said, and then I'll help you. That's what I would say to you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Gonna call with her.
Yeah, get with me. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Absolutely. Love that. Love the helping, you know, attitude and all in this group. Absolutely love that. Awesome. Awesome. Juliana, are you here with us? The Queen of Hearts. I love that.
Yes, hi.
Hey.
Hi,
How are you
I'm
doing?
here somewhere. Oh, today I'm feel a little bit exhausted in my whole body, so that's why I'm like, whoa.
Are you traveling
But
today
I'm
too?
fine. Otherwise, I'm fine. Well,
Are you traveling today too? Remember last week you were traveling?
yeah, not this time.
Okay.
But probably because of the travel, I feel exhaustion. But yeah.
Okay.
But I'm
Good to have
fine.
you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions about week 2? Anything
No,
about week 2?
no, thank you. No, thank you.
You're welcome. Please don't mind. If you have any question, reach out to me or post them in the group, because we want to make sure that everybody has the questions answered and everybody succeeds. So don't feel bad if you're falling behind. As I said at the beginning of this call, the only competition is the Juliana of yesterday. All right.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and you're welcome to join any future classes, and that applies to all of you guys. Again, as a reminder, you're a member for life. You can join any other classes in the future. So don't feel bad if you fall behind. Any last questions about week 2 before we take a break, before we kick the actual teaching of week 3? As my good friend, the pastor would say, speak now, hold your peace forever. Any questions? Once, twice? All right, then let's take a 5-minute break, 3 to 5 minute break. And then I'm going to come back for, don't go anywhere. We're going to do the actual teaching of kickoff call for week 3. Okay. See you in 3 to 5 minutes.
Thank you, Caesar.
If you guys want to talk to each other, feel free to do so.
All right. Are we back? Let me bring the other people to the group. Bernadette, hello. Good to see you, my
Hello,
friend.
apologies, I'm late. I couldn't seem to log on. Nothing
No worries,
was
no worries.
working.
Good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very good, except that I've lost my phone and
Oh,
my internet's
no.
been playing up, so things are conspiring against me today.
Oh, no. Joseph, brother, good to have you with us.
Okay, man. Great to see you.
Good, good, good. Thank you. Let's see, what else do we have? Anyone else? Okay. Hassan, good to have you with us, my friend. And we have Dr. Owen. Good to have you here, my friend.
Okay, good evening, Lorenzo, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Hello. Have you recovered from Saturday, Owen?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's still like have resonated. So thank you so much. You have a great performance on the TechX stage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, credit must go where due. You're a massive part of that. So thank you for your coaching, for your leadership and your guidance. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I see the message that you sent us about when the video that you will send to you.
Okay.
Like we will send the video to the Tech Global,
Okay.
and then they will post that into the TechX YouTube channel.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
okay. So, when we have that, we will inform you. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
guys, we started. We're ready to rock and roll. Okay, let me. Well, it's been recording, so I should have forgot to pause it, but it's okay. All right. So 3, 2, 1, everybody's back. Let me fire up my slides and let's rock and roll. All right. So again, let me quickly, should I stop it? No, just keep going. Okay. So welcome here again for kickoff call for week 3. We're almost halfway there. Congratulations on completing the first 2 weeks. And now we're going to approach the last 2 weeks, which are all about making money. Who wants to make some money? Raise your hand. All right. All right. All right. We all need to make some money. Cool. All right. Let me share my screen. All right. Do you guys see my screen? Okay. So for today, same agenda as every time. Gonna start by going over the week 3, and then dive into the actual teaching, and also introduce some of the experts that I'm gonna be bringing in for you guys this week. And then at the end we'll have Q&A. All right. So overview of week 3. Day 1, I'm gonna be going over a simple yet effective launch strategy, plus going back again to reviewing recording your first episode and the different types of first episode
Hello.
available.
Yeah.
Gifty, let me mute you, please. Okay, let me mute you. Okay, awesome. Day 2, tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing with you a much more aggressive launch strategy. Day 3, I'm going to be talking about building a website for your podcast, plus having an expert talk on social media queen and a Canva expert, a dear friend of mine. Gonna bring her here, and we'll have a live call on Wednesday, and on Thursday, an incredible, powerful topic that is leveraging the tremendous power of press releases and getting into the media. And I will have an expert, a very powerful expert. Some of you may know him, the one and only Stephen Gillen. He's going to come and talk to us about press release and how to get into the media. And day 5, it's about putting it all together and marketing your podcast beyond the launch. How do we grow? How do we promote and keep on getting the right people into our podcast? So this is for week 3. And so let's go for day by day about day 1. So day 1 is going to be about, again, recording your first episode, an intro to your podcast, creating an intro and outro for your podcast, as well as being approved to the top 3 to 5 podcast directories, such as Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, Audible, iHeartRadio, and so on and so forth. This is basically a review of day 5 of week 2, which is very important. And then creating your social media marketing to let the world know about the launch of your podcast, social media pictures with quotes for each episode, audiograms, highlights, short clips, and so on and so forth. And I'm delighted to see that Hamish has taken the lead on that and has been leveraging that to create shorts for his YouTube channel and has been getting some amazing results. So I will ask you, Hamish, after to come share some of your results and some of your findings, your lessons you learned, so we can all learn from it. And then also sharing with you guys the different options for doing that, for creating the social media assets and all that. And speaking of that, I will also have, let's say, a dear friend of mine on Wednesday come do a talk for us on social media strategies, as well as leveraging Canva to create killer quotes, pictures, reels, and so on and so forth. Day 2, it's going to be all about a much more aggressive launch strategy that I'm going to share with you guys. And that will involve doing daily lives on social media for a week or 2 before your launch day, getting a trailer for your podcast done. Oh, let me make that full screen. Sorry, forgot about that. Do you guys still see my screen? All right. So getting a trailer made for your podcast and using that for your launch, having at least 5, at the bare minimum 5, ideally 10, if not 15 to 20 episodes recorded before going live, so we can have a solid foundation. Can also be talking about the grassroots approach, letting your friends, family, neighbor, everybody you know about your upcoming launch of your podcast. Here's a powerful thing that not many people do, but when done the correct way can be absolutely phenomenal, and that is running a giveaway contest, offering something of value to your potential listeners and clients to subscribe and review your podcast. That's something very powerful if done the right way. And I'm going to, of course, cover all that on day 2. It's going to be more like day 3, day 4. Wait. So day 3 is going to be, I forgot to switch the days, but day 3 is going to be building a website for your podcast and social media mastery, and as well as Canva, leveraging Canva. So why having a website for your podcast is very important. The various options for having a website for your podcast: do it yourself, if you know how to do it, hiring a freelancer, or hiring an agency which specializes in podcast websites. I know 2 of such agencies, one in Australia and one in New York and Buffalo, New York. If you guys are looking to invest in that, I can connect you with those guys. And of course, I'll be bringing my dear friend, Susanna. She's going to be doing a talk for us on Wednesday about social media mastery, as well as leveraging Canva to create killer reels, quotes, and so on and so forth. And then day 4, I will correct that after. Day 4 is going to be probably my favorite day of the week. It's going to be leveraging press releases and getting into the media. That is very powerful. Not many people are doing that, but if you do that, that alone can put not only your podcast, but also your brand, your business on the map. And I'm going to be sharing with you what can you do to take advantage of press release and getting to the media, introducing a previous PR media pro, Angel Tucci from the US. I'm going to be sharing the video of her talks from previous classes that she did for previous classes, and for this class, I will be bringing a UK based press release mega expert, Stephen Gillen, is going to come. He's doing massive things. He's shooting movies for Netflix and so on and so forth. He's traveling the world, just shooting videos. Is working with the biggest brand in the world, and I'm very delighted, grateful, and honored. He's going to come and do a talk for us on Thursday. On Thursday about press release, and now getting into press releases. So that's going to be a very powerful talk. We're going to have it live. So this week, we're going to have 2 more calls. One on Wednesday, which is going to be about social media mastery and Canva, leveraging Canva with my dear friend Susanna. And on Thursday, we're going to have Stephen Gillen come and do a talk about press releases, 1 p.m. UK time. So make sure you mark your calendar, because those will be absolutely pure gold. So just did that. And on day 5, on Friday, we're going to put it all together and then sharing your podcast and your existing platforms, channels, the importance of building an email list and doing that the right way. The power of cross-promoting your show with guests and other influencers. And you can start right away with just getting on each other's podcast as at the very base, the lowest hanging fruits, but also partnering up with other influencers in your niche, in your industry, to really cross-promote your show. Creating and sharing audiograms, highlight clips for each episode. That's something I'm going to be covering again on Friday. And also, because that's very important, that's something I also showed you how to do that on Thursday, on day 4 of week 2. And I'm going to be showing to you guys again today because that's very powerful, very important. So I want to make sure you guys know that and understand that. And I'm going to showing that again to you guys, going even deeper on that on Friday, as well as submitting your show for press releases on networks such as Pod News, Discover Pod, and so on and so forth. It's going to be a packed week, a packed day. Now we're going to actually be starting to promote our podcast so that when we are ready to go, we will have a smashingly banging successful launch. And then, yeah, so some of the experts I'm going to be bringing, as I said, Stephen Gillen for Press Release Superstar on Thursday. And on Wednesday, my dear friend, Susanna Francis, Canva specialist, Canva queen, and social media queen, is going to be coming here to do a masterclass for us. So at the end of this week, we will have completed a 3-week. The initial program was a 3-week program to launch a podcast. However, as I said, I'm going to adding an extra week, a bonus week next week, which will be all about Money Week. I'm going to be sharing with you how to start how to get your first paying client in as little as 30 days, even if you have no audience, without spamming or ad spend. I'm going to be sharing the exact approach and method I've used to get myself out of the hole I was, and I've been using for the last 3.5 years to basically get not only leads, but also clients on demand. So day 1, next week, it's going to be about leveraging the tremendous power of Facebook, especially Facebook groups, to get visibility and build your audience from scratch. And I'm delighted to announce that I will be having a master specialist when it comes to building communities. Some of you may know him, Kaizen Sharp from the Serving Circle is going to come and do a talk on how to build communities on Facebook. Day 2 is going to be building your winning program effortlessly in as little as 7 days. So one of the things that most entrepreneurs make as a mistake is they try to build a program before even having an audience, and they build it without knowing what the audience want. However, how the big boys are doing it, like Tony Robbins, Steve Graziosi, and Russell Brunson, they don't spend a penny or a second building a program. They go to the audience, ask them what they want, and build it. And I'm going to be sharing that approach step by step with you guys. That's how I've built my little academy way back in November of 2021, and I'm still using the same principle, the same approach, the same method to this day for my program, and making it bigger and more robust. So that's very important. Day 3, this is one thing that literally changed my business. My business went from being a hobby to a business the moment I started implementing 5-day challenges. All of you guys here came into this academy as a result of, most of you guys came into the academy as a result of the recent 5-day challenge, podcast day challenge I hosted in the middle of July. So again, 5-day challenges are absolutely gold mine, absolutely game changer, because again, it gives your audience an opportunity to get to know you, to get a taste of what it's like working with you guys, so to speak, to get a test drive with you guys, to see what it's like working with you, to get to know you, so you can build rapport and trust. That is incredibly important. And I highly recommend each and every single one of you to start running your own 5-day challenges successfully. And this is what I'm going to be teaching you guys. And I'm going to be also having an expert talk, for you guys to come do a masterclass. One of my dear friends and alumni of my academy from February of this year, Louisa Moroni. She's based in Toronto, Canada, and her business, one of her businesses, helping entrepreneurs launch wildly successful 5-day challenges. She's gonna come and show us and do a talk for us on day 3, which is Wednesday of the following week. And then, as you can see from everything else, everything builds from the previous day. On day 4 of next week, I'm going to be sharing with you how to get your first paying client in as little as 30 days, even if you have absolutely no audience, without spamming and without cold calling and no ad spend, by simply utilizing what I'm going to be teaching you in the first 3 days, leveraging Facebook groups, communities, then build your program, and then running your challenge, and then starting getting your first client, making offers, even if you have no audience. Use that, you will get your first client in as little as 30 days. I'm going to share with you exactly how I've been able to do it. And day 5, this is where you're going to take your program and put it on steroids by leveraging the tremendous power of testimonials to charge more right off the bat, and also raise your prices regularly. For example, coach, you guys remember from the 5-day challenge, I brought him to do a talk on creating your Godfather offer. He started he's a sales coach. He's background as a pastor. He started his sales academy in September of 2020. In the first class, he only charged $500. But then he did one thing that completely changed his family's life and destiny. He spent the next 30 days getting as many testimonials from all the people he had been helping. So he was able to get 43 short, 90-second, 60-second glowing testimonials from all the people he's been working with and helping. And that allowed him to massively bump his price from $500 to $10,000 from one class to another. This is what testimonials can do for you. Your testimonials are your best, or you're going to do your marketing. Testimonials is what's going to allow you to set yourself apart, to be established as an expert. I paid Jay $10,000 in June of last year to join this academy, to be a student of his. The same program now is $25,000. Again, because he's been increasing his collection of testimonials. This is why when they meet me for the first time, they ask me, what do you do? I don't say I'm a podcaster, I have an academy, I'm an author, none of that. I say I'm a collector. What do you collect? I collect success stories, testimonials. Because again, my number one task I do is to get as many testimonials as I can, because the testimonial is what can allow me to really sell more and also establish myself as an expert. So again, this is incredibly important. I'm going to share that with you guys on Friday of next week. So that's basically my blueprint on how to get your first paying client in as little as 30 days, even if you have no audience, without spamming or ad spend. I'm going to be sharing with you guys on a bonus week. That alone, that week 4 can be an entire standalone program, an entire $5,000 to $10,000 program. I'm adding it here as a way to test it as a bonus for you guys, because the first time I'm doing it in the UK, and I want to help every single one of you guys as much as I can, as my way of saying thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your business. So I'm sharing all of this with you guys as a bonus because I really want to help you. But for the next class onward, I'm going to be raising my prices because of the incredible value I'm adding and the glowing testimonials I have, and hopefully getting as many testimonials from you guys as possible. So again, this is exciting time. I'm very excited about that. Do you guys see the value? Are you guys excited? So again, you're going to get all of that as part of the member, as a bonus, as my way of saying thank you. So I'm excited. Let's get going. Any question about the overview so far before I dive into the actual teaching of day 1 of week 3? Any question? Very welcome, Juliana. That's my way of saying thank you. Any question about the overview of week I just covered? Or should I continue into the actual? Go ahead.
Not a question, just like, wow.
Seriously,
Wow,
this week and next week, especially next week, Monday week, I should call it Showtime week. Because if you implement that, you will get your first client, paying client. And that's what we all want. We don't want just leads. We want actually money. All right. Let me thank you for that. Any other comment, question before I dive into the actual teaching? Okay. Let's go. Where is it? Where is it? Not this one. Sorry, wrong one. Let me find the right screen.
Okay, not this one. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, right here. Okay. Okay, find it. All right, let's go. All right, do you guys see my screen? Let me make it full screen. You still see my screen? Okay, let's go. So launch week. All right, day one. A simple yet very effective launch strategy. Plus, I'm gonna be going back over the intro and outro of your podcast. So as I said, first of all, recording your first episode intro to your podcast, as I mentioned last week, on day 3 and 4, there's two types of intros. The one that you have as episode 1, that's gonna be about 10-20 minutes. It's gonna introduce you to your audience, and the actual short intro, 10 to 15 second stops at the start of every episode. Again, you don't have to have that, because I'll be honest, I don't have that on mine at all. But if you want to have it, if you know how to put it, it's not complicated, you can add it. And again, I'm going to go again over the being approved into the top 3 to 5 podcasting directories, such as Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, Audible, iHeartRadio, and so on and so forth. And of course, creating marketing materials to let the world know about the launch of your podcast, social media assets, pictures, quotes, and all that good stuff. Audiograms, highlights, short clips for each episode, and options, various options to do that. So first of all, creating your intro and outro for your podcast. As I mentioned, there's two types of intros. The first one is your first episode. I would say not even episode 1, but episode 0, which is you would put not only on your website, on your podcast, but also I would recommend you use that on your website, even use it on your calendar. So people, before they book a time with you, say, listen to this, watch this, so you can actually get to know me, who I am, before we jump into a call. Keep it short, 10 minutes, at most 20 minutes, not an hour. We are, what's your story? What's your background? Why are you starting your podcast? What do you want to achieve through your podcast? For who is it? How they're going to benefit from it, and so on and so forth. Keep it short, tidy, sweet to the point, 10, 20 minutes. That's your very first episode. I don't recommend you write a script, but what I do recommend is have maybe a notepad with bullet points, fire up your Zoom, and record it, speak from the heart, and just introduce yourself. Let the world, let your world, your audience know about you. That's the purpose of this first episode. So, and then the second one, okay, the second one is the one that goes at the start of each episode, like the 10, 20-second blurb. I would say even 20 seconds is too long. Keep it 10 to 15 seconds, like 1 or 2 sentences. Hi, my name is Payman. Welcome to the Leaders of Heart podcast, where I'm showcasing heart-centered entrepreneurs building impactful, heart-centered businesses, so we can inspire other entrepreneurs to do good. Something as simple as that. 1 or 2 sentences that summarizes what is your podcast for, who is it for, and what they're going to get by listening to it, whether it's they listen to the audio or watch the video on YouTube. And at the end of that, you can have a call to action saying, hey, if you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel. Or if you want them to take another action, such as, hey, please go to my website, subscribe to my email list, get my free guide or whatever. It's up to you, depending on what kind of action step you want them to take, and that's going to be a call to action. So I'm going to go over that in a moment. So I already mentioned that your first episode, 5, 10, at the very most 20 minutes. Mine on my audio on my Apple is about 20 minutes. Sharing my story, who I am, where I come from, what led me to start my podcast, what was it for, and all that good stuff. That is your episode 0, not even episode 1. And again, use that not only on your podcast, on your YouTube channel, put it at the homepage, even put it on your website, even on your calendar. Before someone, when you have the About Me page on your website, put a link to that video and say, and even on your calendar, before someone books a call with you, say, please watch this short 10, 15 minute, whatever, how long is your video about me, so you should get to know me better in order to have our conversation be very effective when we actually get on a call. So you don't waste time, going over the basics. Make sense?
All right. So the intro for your podcast, even though I say here 10, 20, at times 30 seconds, I would say anything over 20 seconds is way too long. Because if it's way too long, people are going to skip it. Not only skip the intro, but also they may even skip the entire podcast and go to another one. So keep it short. I would say 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds. That's a sweet spot. 10, 15 seconds. One or two sentences. Your name. What is your podcast about? Who is it for? And what are they going to achieve by listening to it? And a short action, call to action at the end. Like, hey, if you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my podcast. Or if you want them to go to your website and opt in, so they can get your free guide to, for example, understanding facial language and body language. For example, if you have something like this, Joseph, you can send them to your website to do that. And again, all of that you can to create that short 10, 20-second intro. You can do it yourself on your Zoom. You can hire a freelancer, or you can hire an agency. The agency is probably not what you need because they're cheap. But I would recommend every task that I've mentioned so far, you do it first so you understand how it is, what it's like doing it. So when you do get to a point where you will need to hire someone to do it, so you understand the task. So that's going to minimize the risk of you being taken for a ride and being overcharged for something that is literally pretty basic. So I always recommend you guys to do it first so you understand the process. So again, if you want to do it yourself, fire up your Zoom account and simply speak to your Zoom, record it, upload the video to YouTube or any platform website you'll be using, and the audio, add it manually at the start of the intro in each episode. You can do the same thing for the outro. The final message at the end of the podcast. Hey, thank you for listening to my podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to learn more, if you want to connect with me, here's my website. Please register to my, subscribe to my channel, whatever call to action you want them to take. Again, these are all optional because my podcast still don't have that. If it makes sense for you and for your audience, go ahead, do it. Once you record it once, you can just add it manually yourself at the start and at the end of every episode. And to do that, go watch again day 4 of week 2 when I showed you exactly how to edit and add and cut videos. Same thing like that. Let's go to the next page. Again, the call to action, the CTA, that's very important. Make sure every message you do, because again, we're building a business. So make sure there's a very specific call to action. Don't ask them to do 2, 3 things. Oh, subscribe to my channel, like my page, and leave your email. No, don't ask anything over. Only ask them one thing to do, because if you ask 2, 3 things, they will get confused. They won't do it. Just one call to action. Hey, if you like what you're hearing or what you're seeing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or please subscribe to my podcast. Or if it's a more, if you want to take a bigger action, go to my website. Here's the link. Opt in, and I will send you my blueprint to do XYZ. So be very specific, very clear, but one call to action, not 2 or 3, because you will confuse it. And a confused mind doesn't take any action. The only action they do is just leave your site. Okay, well, as I just said, yeah, subscribe, leave a review for the audio version if that's what you want. Yeah, so call to action. Another popular call to action, especially if you're selling high ticket, most of you will be. Your call to action can be book a call with me for a meet and greet chat. Here's my Calendly. The link is below. Book a call with me. Book a complimentary 20, 30-minute chat with me. That could be your call to action. I wouldn't recommend to have this call to action at the beginning of your podcast. More likely at the end, once they actually seen and heard about you and get to know you a bit better, they're more comfortable with you. That's a call to action I would add at the end of the podcast or the episode. At the start, I would say, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to my channel. You ask them a small task, small ask. Just like when you meet someone the first time you meet them, you're not gonna propose to them. You'll say, let's go grab a coffee, and then let's go for lunch, dinner, and so on and so forth. Same thing here. You ask them, hey, if you like what you're hearing or what you're seeing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or my audio podcast. And at the end of the call, your call to action can be, hey, get in touch with me on social media, book a call on my calendar, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense? Does it make sense, guys? All right. Again, many ways to do that. The first way is to do it yourself. Highly recommend you do it yourself, always, so you understand how it is. And also, here's a big one. Make sure you're using royalty-free pictures and music, video for your intro, outro, and your podcast. Because the last thing you want is once your podcast or YouTube channel starts to get traction and become popular and famous, the last thing you want is someone, the owners of those pictures, videos, music, to come after you and send you a cease and desist or legal action. You don't want that. And the easiest way to stop that is by getting royalty-free pictures on sites like pixabay.com, unsplash.com, and so on and so forth. You can also get royalty-free background music, sound effects, and even videos on sites like pond5.com or audiojungle.com. These are two among many, many, many out there. And these royalty-free music have... okay, let me just mute. Okay. These websites, this platform rather, have a vast selection of options from free to paid. And the paid ones are not very expensive, anywhere between $5 to $50 to own the image rights of an image, a picture, a video, sound effect, or a music or a video. I'll recommend you get that because that's gonna be your insurance against legal action later on. It's the best money you will spend because, again, you own it and you have the legal rights to it. So, and you will have a peace of mind that nobody's going to come to you once your podcast or your business or your YouTube channel starts to get bigger because you're using their property, basically. If you want to hire a freelancer, again, this is the usual suspects. You can go freelancer.com, upwork.com, fiverr.com, and so on and so forth. Looking for a freelancer, while it can be inexpensive, it can be also a goose chase because you don't know the person. Sure, the first thing we do is read the reviews, but then even with good reviews, they can be, going through tough times. They can have technical issues and not get back to you or not be professional and so on and so forth. So it can be a goose chase to find someone who's reliable, that does the work on time, and doesn't charge the moon. But if you do find someone that ticks all these boxes, then they're worth their weight in gold. Okay. If you're at a stage that you can afford to hire an agency that specializes in podcasting, that's beautiful. Let me know and I can connect you to two such agencies, one in Australia, one in New York, Buffalo, New York in the US. And they're not cheap, but they take away all the stress from you. They assign you a manager. You tell them exactly what you want, and they have a staff, and they get the work done, and they get back to you with a final product. So one of them is the one gorillaco.co in Australia. Another one is what is it? Chameleon something. I forgot the name. And Buffalo, my good friend Mike DiCiocio. If you guys are able and want to do that, let me know and I will connect you to them. But if not, you don't have to worry about that. This is more something that you would be best fitted for you once your podcast starts generating a high six figures, so you can start outsourcing and basically buying back your time as much as possible by hiring a team. Now, let's dive into looking at a simple yet launch strategy. And that would be, one second. Okay, so that would be once you have your first episode recorded and uploaded to your host, for example, Podbean, and for my case, then you would need to apply to all these platforms. At the very least, the top 5, top 3. such as Apple, Spotify, Google, and I would also recommend maybe Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and even, yeah, all those things. And again, go back to day 5 of week 2, because I went in detail with screenshot videos on how to do that for each and every single one of those platforms. Apply for the first, ideally apply to all the 10 ones they listed, but at the bare minimum, do it to the top 3 or 5, as I mentioned here: Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Audible. And follow the steps from day 5 of week 2. Give it enough time. It can take anywhere from a few minutes to maybe a week or 2, depending on your location, depending on your history with them, and so on and so forth. Now, let's take a look at creating your marketing material, social media assets, pictures, quotes, and so on and so forth from each episode. So my episodes back then, they were about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours each. They were long, so there's plenty of opportunity and material for me to create quotes. Once you've created your template on Canva, just like the one I use here, you just, during the talk, during the episode with that person, they will say something that will stand out, that is quotable, quote-worthy. And you take that and you put it in on Canva. You can create that. Again, once you've created a template, after that, it's very easy. Just plugging the name, the title, the episode number, and the quote. Once you have the template, it takes you 2 minutes to create that, not even. Everybody knows how to do that? All right, if not, that's okay. Wednesday, my expert guest will cover all of that for you guys, and she will show you how to create that from scratch. Here's another example from another past episode of my podcast. Very easy. Very powerful, short quote. You just put their name, episode number, the actual quote, and the picture. Very simple. How to create those. I'm going to briefly go over that, but again, on Wednesday, the lesson is going to be, I'm going to show you how to, we're going to have an actual expert showing you how to do that. So first of all, open your Canva account. Make sure you understand Canva, because Canva is going to be a very powerful tool that we're going to be using moving forward to create all your graphics and all that. You use a template that you created in week 2, on day 2 of week 2, when we created your cover art, your banners, your thumbnails, and so on and so forth. And then all we need to do is just take the information, the name of the person, the episode number, the quote, the picture, and that's it. It's not rocket science. All right. And then once it's created, you download that picture from your Canva account into your computer. And then you can upload it from your computer into your social media platforms, such as Facebook, LinkedIn, X, if you're using Twitter, former Twitter, and so on and so forth, YouTube, and so on and so forth. What's below here? Let me check. So yeah, I would recommend you create at least, at the bare minimum, 1, preferably 2 or 3 social media pictures, quotes from each episode. Because again, the more of those you create, the more incentives, the more opportunities, the more reasons you provide your guests to share your content with the audience. So each quote you create, that's an extra visibility you're getting. So the more of those you create, the more of those you create, the more visibility you will get, and the more reasons your guests will have to promote you, because each of those quotes, they're making them look good. Does that make sense? All right, cool. Let's move on. Pretty straightforward. So here's an example of an actual audiogram, a highlight, or short clips, or reels, whatever you want to call it. I used to do them myself. They were quite time consuming. I used to do them on my computer using iMovie. But then now there's plenty of tools that allow you to do that. There's one I've been using, it's called Pro. All I have to do is just pin the link to my YouTube video, select the length of the short I want, anywhere from 15 seconds to 3 minutes, and add some keywords that are relevant to what I want the videos to be about. Set it and forget it, and about 20 minutes is going to create for me and for you up to 20 highlight reels or short clips with those colorful captions. And then you can share those onto your social media. The one I've been using is called opus.pro. I will share the link inside the Facebook group. And yeah, so very powerful. And again, each of those that you create not only is for you to promote your episode, but most importantly, you're going to send that to your guests. And that's going to be an extra reason for your guest to promote you. Because if all you send was just the video of the podcast, they will only have one reason, one time to promote you. But if you send them, say, 3 quotes and say 3 highlight reels, guess what? They will be promoting you 7 times in total. Much more eyeballs. Do you see that, guys? How powerful that is? Okay, cool. Whoops, let me go to the next one. Here's some steps summaries to creating an audiogram highlight video from your episode. Again, that's provided if you want to do that yourself. I recommend you do at least 1 or 2 so you understand the process. But after that, you can either outsource it to a freelancer, or you can use an AI tool like opus.pro. So again, open the video editing software you're using on your computer. If it's Mac, it's iMovie. If it's Windows, I believe it's Windows Video Editor. But before you make any changes, you edit any video, highly recommend you make a copy of the original video. Don't make any changes, any editing, anything on the original copy. Make the editing, the cuts, and all that on the copied version. So you want to keep the original version. And I would recommend also get an external drive. You can grab a very good one, SSD external drive for about 1 terabyte for about maybe 50 to 100 pounds. This is very valuable because this can do 2 things. Not only as an extra backup for you, external backup, but also it's going to clear up your computer. You don't want your computer to be too full, because the more full your computer is, the slower it gets. So always make a copy of the original file, save the original into your external drive, and then do any editing you want to do on the copied version. So you don't lose, you always have a copy of the original version. And then I would recommend you create the reels as soon as you do the videos, because the information is still fresh in your mind. So remember roughly around what time the person said something that was really impactful, meaningful, something that was really quote worthy, as opposed to you watching it a week later, you have no idea, you have to watch the entire thing again. And so that's going to help you to identify, or even on your note, have a notepad, write down, oh, they said something important around the 10-minute mark, or around the 20-minute mark, or around the 35-minute mark, and so on and so forth. And then after that, if you have a Mac, open your iMovie, upload your copied version of that video onto the iMovie, and start cutting and deleting the parts that are not needed, so you can keep just the short part that you need for the highlights. You can do that. That's not very time consuming, as long as you know exactly which part to cut, but it can be time consuming. So instead, there's tons of AI tools. The one I've been using is opus.pro, opus.pro. So yeah, and once it's done, save the file and upload it to YouTube and any other place online you'll be using it, your website, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. So action plan for day 1 of launch week, of week 3. Yes, Bernadette, we're going to get to the question in a moment. Just hold it for 2 more minutes, please, okay? Action plan for today, for day 1, is record your first episode. Remember the first episode, that's the one that's going to be 5, 10 to tops 15, 20 minutes, introducing yourself, your background, your story, why are you launching a podcast, who's going to benefit from it, how, and so on and so forth. And you can use that not only as your episode 0 on your podcast, on YouTube channel, but also on your website, on your About Me page, as well as on your Calendly. Before someone books a call with you, hey, please watch. You can put a line on top that says, please take a few minutes to watch this video about me, so you know who I am, So when we get on a call, it's going to be much more effective. Something like that. So start recording that. Again, I would not recommend writing a script, but instead have a notepad with bullet points and simply speak from the heart. And then simply share your story in a concise way. Keep it short. If you can keep it around the 10, 15 minutes, that's a sweet spot. But don't make it over 20 minutes, because if it's 30, 40 minutes, you will lose them. All right. And then also, this is also an extension of what I asked you guys to do on Friday of last week, applying to at least the top 3, if not the top 5, and ideally the top 10 podcasting apps. But don't do that until you only have at least, at the bare minimum, 5 to 10 podcast episodes recorded. I'm not talking about launching them live yet. But before you apply to this platform, they will ask you, hey, do you have any episodes? If you don't have any episode, they will ask you, please wait until you get some episodes recorded. So have at least at the bare minimum to apply just to open your account with, say, Podbean, you're hosting. Have at least 1 episode. So your first episode, your episode 0, can be what you can use to apply to create an account with a hosting platform such as Podbean, for example. And then once you have the account, go back and create your 5, 10 foundational episodes, and then upload them into your dashboard on Podbean, for example. And from there, start applying to Apple, Spotify, Google, and so on and so forth. And start also creating social media pictures and quotes from your podcast, even about your first episode, to build up momentum, to build up hype, to promote your podcast launch. So let's say your official launch date, let's say, for example, is going to be September 15th or September 10th, whatever date. Start creating quotes about yourself. Create a template, as I showed you how to do last week on day 2. Put some quotes about you, something that are important, something that your audience will need to know about you. That's going to make them intrigued and stand out to really look for your podcast. So start creating those social media pictures and quotes for your podcast. And we're going to be doing that again together on Wednesday when I bring in my dear friend Susanna, the social media queen and Canva queen. We're going to create some of those live together. Okay. And brainstorm the script of your intro, the short intro, the 10, 15 seconds, 1 or 2 sentences. And if you want, you can look at some of the popular podcasts out there to get inspiration. Like the one I love is the one from ClickFunnels. The ClickFunnels web podcast, the first intro that they use is absolutely beautiful. So look it up on, if you want, I can share it with you guys inside the Facebook group. Again, it doesn't mean you have to copy them, but use them as inspiration. And then plug in your information to it. So that's going to be very important. Start playing with that. Start building the foundation of your podcast. So when your all is ready, your podcast is going to be very professional. So yeah, let's take now some questions. Bernadette, go ahead, my friend. After that, Mark. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, I've got 2 questions.
Yeah.
When you were saying at the beginning about the call to action and putting the Calendly link.
Yeah.
On YouTube, how do you put it? Do you put it on your video? Do you put it underneath, or how do you put it underneath?
All of the above. You can mention it. Hey, if you want to have a chat with me, meet and greet call. Check you can either create a slide on your video, say, hey, here's my Calendly, go there. Or I can just say, look in the show notes.
In the show notes, do you have the ability to
yes.
Edit those all for yourself?
Yes. I will show that to you on YouTube. Actually, let me show you that to you right now. 1 second. Let me just quickly. I'm going to come to you, Mark, in a moment. I'm not forgetting you. Okay. Let me go to my YouTube channel so we can show you right now. Also, I showed you guys how to create your own YouTube channel. on last week. So make sure you create your own YouTube channel. And before you start a YouTube channel, you need to create a separate Gmail account that you're going to be using strictly for your YouTube channel. So go back and watch, I believe it was day 4 of week 2. I showed you how to start your YouTube channel. It's free, you can do it. Very straightforward. So here look here, I am on my YouTube channel. Do you see my screen? My YouTube channel? No, okay,
No.
let me share my screen, okay? Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
My YouTube channel. All right, cool. Okay, let's go to the podcast I just recorded earlier today. I haven't finished it yet. So see here, I have the video. Here we have a box for description and all that. Do you see that, Bernadette?
Yes.
So this is where you would put, say, a summary of what this call was about. You put the timestamps. I covered that last week. And then you can put here, right here. Here's my Calendly. If you want to have a complimentary or quick meet and greet chat with me. And you can put the link to your Calendly. For example, let me find my Calendly and put a link here. Where is it? Here. 1 second. Okay. So here's my link. So I have my link. So, okay, let me save it now. Okay, I click here. So the video this is a raw video, it hasn't been worked, so I'm not gonna post it yet. So see on the description, here's my calendar if you want to have a quick chat with me. Do you see that? And they just click here. They get taken to my calendar to book a time. Very simple.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. That's really helpful. And the other question I had is when you were saying to do a short intro to put on YouTube, how do you do that?
There's 2 types of intros. The first type is the one which I consider to be, which I call the first episode of your podcast. Keep it short, 10 to 15 minutes. Where you basically just introduce yourself. Who are you? What's your background? Why are you starting a podcast? For who is it? And how they're going to benefit. Keep it short, 10 at the most. 10, 15 minutes is a sweet spot. At the very most, 20 minutes. And then that video, you can use it not only on your YouTube channel on the homepage, but also on your website. Put it under your About Me page.
Yes.
So people can say, please watch this video to find out more about me. Even I would put it on the Calendly. When people go, for example, you have my Calendly here. I haven't put it yet, but I'm going to implement it. Let's say I want for, say, tomorrow, Tuesday, let's say I would 9:30, for example. You have a bunch of options to put questions here. So, and you can add any question you want. And one thing you can add here is before you book this call, please watch the short video about me. So when we get on a call, we can have a much more effective use of our time. That's something you can do. You can add it here as well. So that's for your first episode, 10, 15 minutes about you. But then there is the other one, which is the short 10 to 15 seconds, the 1 or 2 sentences at the start of your podcast. Hi, welcome to whatever the name of your podcast is. My name is Bernadette. I'm going to be sharing with you, talking to you about such and such. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or whatever. Your call to action. Short, sweet, to the point. That's what I would recommend. But you do not have to do that because I still don't have that on my podcast yet. If you really want to be top professional, I still don't have it. You don't need that.
Okay.
If you want to keep it ultra professional, yes.
Thank you. That's great. No,
You're
that's
welcome.
helpful. Thank you.
Very welcome. Mark, go ahead, brother. And thank you for your patience. Mark? Oh, sorry, he's in the waiting room. Oh my God, I thought I had let him in. He had raised his hand. Okay, thought he was in. In the meantime, anyone else has any question? Hamish?
Yeah. I was going to ask you, are you getting people clicking through from your Calendly links in the descriptions?
So far, no, because I have not put my Calendly on my description yet.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm showing you what's possible. It doesn't mean you
Gotcha.
have to do it. I'm
Yeah.
giving you the full picture. I still haven't been using it, but that has not stopped me from building successful podcast. If you want to be ultra professional and really leverage your podcast to the max, this is what you would be required.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do the cards that you did. I send all my guests the reels anyway, and all the links. But you know, you can lead a horse to water. They don't share them very often.
Oh, let me tell you, I used to be very frustrated because those would each episode is costing me about $50. I have a team to help me produce it. All I was asking them was just, hey, please share that with the audience. Nobody would do it. It was very frustrating. And then some people, I asked them, they on the Calendly before they have a bunch of questions. One of the questions can be, are you willing to commit to sharing this to at least 5 of your 5 platform that you're in? Make it a requirement. Because you're putting all this effort and energy, the least you can expect is for them to respect your time. You're not asking for money, just share that. Simple as that. So that's something you can add on your Calendly where you have the questions before someone books the time with you.
Yeah.
Damon, did that actually make a difference?
Kind of. Because there's still some people whether they're too busy or whatnot, they just want to get the podcast and they don't care about anything else. It's okay. Let them be.
So may I just ask this whole group, if they wouldn't mind, and I will do this too, coming up with strategies to get people to post.
Yes.
Right, because I think it's one of those things. I know from my own career in therapy, authorship, copywriting, people often don't like to share their top secret, right? They don't want that. So people used to say to me, I'm not going to tell people about you because they'll hire you.
Oh, come on. That's not the
No, seriously, right? I'm not telling people about you, or, I don't want people, and from a pure therapy perspective, I don't want people to know I'm seeing this is years ago, a coach or therapist, right? But even from the higher perspective, you're my secret. And I learned to put my fees up a lot. And I would say to people, well, if you're keeping me secret, I'm doubling my fee. If I'm that good and you won't share me, I'm doubling my fees. And I used to, right? But that was my approach because I am very cheeky and very confident about the results I get. But when it comes to sharing, one of the things that I have done is sent people an actual, in the days when I used to use Twitter, which I wouldn't touch with a barge pole now, I would send them the tweet to tweet.
Yeah.
And say, tweet this. I would send, and in my blog, we would have a section that if you pressed the button, I don't know how we did it because I can't remember, it's been years. You press the button and it showed up on their YouTube, on their, rather than, so at the bottom, at the end of a comment, they press a button and a quote says, like sometimes when you go shopping and it says, you get, I think, tweet this and it says, I just purchased. Right. So I think there are things that we can do to help people to share our information. But in some ways you have to incentivize them, I think, a little bit, or threaten.
Absolutely. And also add on your Calendly page, was a bunch of questions before the book.
Yeah.
Make it a question requirement. Hey, are you willing and ready to commit to sharing this to at least 5 of your friends, or 3 of your social media platforms? And if they say no, right away, the algorithm, you can set it in a way that if this answer no to that, the next thing will say, sorry, you're not a good fit.
Well, I mean, the other thing you could say, I suppose, is if they say no, you can say, well, in which case there's an admin fee.
You can start charging them money, yes, because again, once you do it properly,
It's going to only cost you time, but money. For each episode I release cost me $50. So if I haven't been charging people money, but I had people ask me, we should charge money. Now I can understand their logic because, hey, and also it's going to also deter those that are just tire kickers. Also, you get, lately I've gotten, not, I wouldn't say a lot, but a fair amount of no-shows. Especially the ones I hate the most is when they book a call with me at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and a no-show. You don't want that.
So what I did, payment for a while ago, just on that one, when I was doing discovery calls, I would take $100 deposit for the discovery. I would say to people, people pay me $3,500 a month for my coaching. I'm happy to do a discovery call with you. You must complete this form and you must pay $100 deposit. If you don't show up, the deposit is default. Boom.
That's a great, absolutely. I love that. Yes.
Right. So, because seriously, when people pay $3,500 for 3 sessions a month, you don't want the tire kickers because it takes up too much of your time. So there are ways of doing this. But obviously one has to feel confident in oneself to move in that direction, if that's any help to anyone.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Yes. For me, one of my pet peeves is people that book calls early in the mornings, especially from the US at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they don't show up. I wake up for nothing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hamish, you raise your hand, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say what I do. I'm going to share the link in the chat, but my calendar.
You muted, Hamish.
Sorry, I must have pressed the button. Yeah,
Sorry.
so I'll share this in the chat, but I have on my calendar for guests to book, they have to put a photograph in. So I've got a headshot.
Yes.
They have to do a bio, so I've got a bio, and they have to send me all their social medias. But I also ask them to send me a freebie, so a free download or a free thing, just so then rather than follow me on Facebook nonsense, they've actually got some value from my guests. So that's a barrier to entry. So if someone just wants to go and talk nonsense to me for an hour, they've got to do all that. So that filters out the tire kickers or detritus, whatever you called them.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
gold, guys. That's gold. I love
there's
that.
the example. There's the example there in the chat. You can just see what I do. Yeah. And it looks really nice as well. It looks professional.
Yeah, it's your business. It's your calendar. You can add as many as little as those, gates, do you want to call it? It's really up to you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Let's, okay, let me share my screen and show it to everyone. Let me, if you don't mind, Amish, okay?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So let's see a successful thing here. So we are here, Amish as Calendly. I'm just gonna try this one as a test. See, you can name and all that. I love this. And more information. Oh, I love this. And I'm gonna borrow that, brother, if I may.
Absolutely. Yep.
So guys, get inspiration. So one thing I recommend, you mentioned here, record a podcast recording 90 minutes. What I recommend to do and what I do, I never do a podcast call on the first call. Because I want to make sure the person is a good fit. So the first call is always a meet and greet, no matter who they're, except if they're Tony Robbins. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yep.
So always, I would recommend your first call is always a meet and greet, not only to get to know each other, but also to further vet to make sure that person is a good fit for you, not only for your audience, but also a good fit for you as a prospect. Because remember, we're interviewing our prospects, not random people. Does it make sense, guys?
Yeah, that link I shared you is once we've had that conversation. So they're the first calendar to book a date, and then that. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, yes.
Yeah.
90 minutes. The 90 minutes, is that the length of the podcast? Is it like a during, and post conversation?
I'm going to shorten it, but at the moment it is to talk nonsense beforehand, because it's uploaded to the cloud. Sometimes you've got to let it continue.
Yeah.
So it's also to have a chat, just reminder, like, who are you? Haven't spoken to you a few days. I can't remember.
How long do you?
Yeah.
How long do you plan on having each episode roughly?
I want to get it under an hour. They're around an hour, but I want to get it slightly under. Sometimes people have got so much amazing to say that we keep going.
If they have amazing things to do at the hour mark, 45 minutes, cut it, part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
as opposed to one big blurb of 2 hours. Unless you're Joe Rogan, not many people have time to listen to that.
Not yet. Nope.
Awesome. Let's see. Mark, welcome, brother. Any question?
Hey guys. Sorry, I'm traveling in the southwest of France, maybe in the car. So I'm sure. Sorry, I haven't been so proactive in the session today. All good. I think I'm getting the gist of everything, but no immediate questions right now.
Awesome. Make sure once you're settled back and at home in the UK to watch the video because there was a lot of golden nuggets today.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch through the replay tomorrow.
Awesome. Sounds good. Drive safely, please. Get home safe. Awesome. David, any question, my friend? David?
I'm good. Thank you, Payman. I like that. I like what Maya says about charging, because that way you don't get the tire kickers and they don't waste your time. And I also like it what Hamish said about because my episodes, I'm looking at about 20 minutes. So when I do an interview of an hour, I'm going to split that into 2 episodes. That's the way I'm looking at doing that.
Beautiful. Or if you're looking to do 20-minute podcast, if you get one for 40 minutes, make it 2 parts. Part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Love
But I'm
that.
also looking at that. I said it's going to be around about 20 minutes. So most of the time when I'm talking, it'll be 20 minutes. But with an interview, I'm saying an hour interview, I'll split it into 2.
Okay, beautiful. Any other questions?
No, I'm good. I'm
Awesome.
liking what's coming through. Thank you, Payman.
Awesome. Happy to hear that. Gifty.
Just a question from me. In terms of the podcast, is it the guests you are promoting after having the conversation, or the host you promoting your service? Or I don't know, because
Both.
I just need a bit of clarity.
By promoting, your goal is to promote. What I do is, and I tell that to every guest I get, I say, I'm just the host. You're the star. The podcast is about you. My goal is to make you shine brighter than you're shining. My goal is to make you win. So when you bring someone on your podcast, you give them an opportunity to share their story, share their business, and the process for each other to get to know each other and to further vet them to make sure they're a good fit as a potential client for you. So, and then once you create your reels and your posters and all that, that's extra incentives. You're basically promoting them. And by promoting them, they're promoting you because they're appearing on your show. You know what I mean? Yes, you're doing the promotion for them, but guess what? It's coming back to you because they're going to be promoting your podcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Because very often I see the host asking the guests, how can people reach you?
Absolutely.
If they want to know.
Yeah, that's a question that I ask always. The last question I ask, if someone wants to connect with you, Gifty, what's the best way to do so? And then you say the website, some people email, social media. The one thing I don't recommend you share online is your phone number because you don't know what kind of crazy people are out there.
Okay.
These are the main reasons for me to edit a podcast, especially in the US. I'm not sure about the UK. I've never been there yet. There's lots of crazies out there. And you definitely don't want your phone number to be blasted online and get a call from or someone to start stalking you and show up at your house because they can find you just with a phone number. Yeah. So don't mention your phone number. You're muted.
Yet, but yesterday after our call, I was trying to access YouTube by registering, and they did ask for all those. Is that thing?
Oh yeah, no. YouTube is okay. YouTube is okay.
Okay.
Because YouTube is okay. To start a YouTube again, what you need to do is create a separate Gmail account that's going to be linked only and exclusively for your YouTube channel. And make sure you remember the login to that. Because if you can't log in, you lost your channel. And you've done all of that for nothing.
Okay. And regarding phone call contacts, would you recommend different phone contact? I don't know. Right from your private.
If your business warrants that. If your business requires that, but honestly nowadays with technology,
people understand. Unless you're a hotel or a business that needs to have a WhatsApp business number listed,
Okay.
people understand, because again, it's privacy. So I would not, you can share your website, your social media, say YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, and so on and so forth. But I wouldn't put a phone number. No, at least that's for me. If your business requires it, and you have a separate phone number that nobody can track you personally, they cannot find you, and the phone number is attached, say, to a business or to a mailbox. I don't know if that's possible in the UK. In the US, it is.
Okay.
Then you can post that.
Thanks for that advice.
Go ahead.
I have another question. So what you've said is that you're interviewing somebody, which of course you're interviewing someone and you're saying this, effectively you're giving that person credibility, right? You're supporting them in growing their business. You're supporting them in growing their visibility. If I don't want or wouldn't, or the people that perhaps I'm interviewing would not necessarily be my clients, it's the listener. How do you handle that when we've already identified that most people don't share those podcasts to their own social media, so they're not promoting you back? It seems counterintuitive, so I really want to get my head around this.
So I would recommend implementing what Hamish is doing beautifully.
Yeah.
Make them require them to submit their information beforehand, submit the social media, and add a question at the end saying, are you willing and ready to commit to sharing this episode to at least 10 of your contacts, or even to 5 of your social media? If the answer is no, sorry, you're not a good fit. And even when I get on a call before I invite someone on my podcast, we do a meet and greet. At the end, I tell them, listen, I'm doing all of this for free. It's costing me $50 per episode. I'm not asking you to pay, but at least the least I can ask you is please make sure that you promote it to your audience. And they all say, oh, absolutely. But a good third of them don't do it. That's people. You can't, I guess we can't, unless you put some kind of deposit requirement to ask them to pay.
I think I actually might do that, because it would allow me to actually hire people in to do the work. And if it's not being promoted by somebody, it becomes a cost, not an investment. And I think that is a mentality that I need to
get them to pay you even a nominal fee, even £20 and $20. At least they have some skin in the game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to think about that one after the founder. But so for me, I'm saying to people, will you help me with the founder episodes before I launch?
Absolutely.
And thereafter, I think, and I have a huge amount of experience in promotion and a huge amount of experience getting people noticed.
Okay.
Okay. I've had another thought in my head. I'm going to, Hamish, I want to think about this with you tomorrow morning. I've had a buzz in my brain.
Okay.
Okay, love. Thank you, everybody. Thanks,
Very welcome. Bernadette, go ahead, my friend.
Yes, my question now is, because a lot of my clients are going through a personal trauma of separation and divorce, they are not really going to be wanting to spill their guts out on a podcast.
Sure.
So my challenge is, who do I have as guests?
One way, I get it. One way, if someone doesn't want to have their face, you can do simply this. Do you see what I just did?
No, I see what you've done.
Turn off the cam. That's one of the best ways to get them over the edge, to open up. But of course, there's something that they don't want to be recorded or to be shared online, which is absolutely understandable. These are things that they will share with you in a private one-on-one conversation, which is absolutely understandable. But this is why it's important to do a meet and greet call first, to really get to know each other and vet them. So they can feel more comfortable to really opening up to you on the call. And
I'm just wondering then if I'd be better off just doing audio rather than, because from a spectator point of view, it's not very good to have a black screen.
It's
it really depends on, some people may be okay having the face on the call. What I would recommend is tell them it's going to be a video. If they object to that, it's okay. We're going to turn off the video. And you can either have a black screen.
Yeah.
Or you can have just the audio. But I would still recommend have the video like on Zoom. So you can use it for normally YouTube, but also the audio for your website. Sorry, for your audio podcast. But if you were just to do audio, you would be limiting yourself just to audio. You know what I
All
mean?
right. Yes. Okay. No, that's fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
No worries.
That you were talking, would you be able to focus on successful stories of those who have
Yes.
gone through, the separation, how they manage it, and even those who have come with different families? What do they call them? I'm a health practitioner. We do
Blended,
get to,
blended.
yes, blended family, and to encourage those who are currently actually seeking your support to travel from where they are to a meaningful place where they can be at peace, whether
Yes.
amicably or successfully. That is a very needed area in our society, and the impact on children, how they can manage, what they others do, for example. And I think so. That thought came to mind.
No, that's a great thought. Thank you.
Speaking of that, you two get together, Bernadette and Gifty, because I put you guys as being accountability partners. So connect with each other on Facebook, get on a call, get to know each other and help each other on a daily, by daily, whatever, regularly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Juliana, any question, my friend?
Thank you, Payman. Everything is right. Thank you.
Awesome.
I have
Awesome.
no
Any
question.
Awesome. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see. Carolyn, any question?
No.
Awesome. Okay. Let me see what
Have
else.
to do some work.
Okay. Let's see what else. David, any questions?
I'm good, thanks.
Very welcome. Dr. Owen, any question? Hello? Owen? Okay, maybe she's not there. Okay. Do you guys have any more questions before we call it a day? Okay. Hamish, any final questions?
No, I was going to say what Gifty said to Bernadette, get people on who are success stories. Because I have the same problem. I'm not going to get someone coming on and say, yeah, I'm a lawyer and I do cocaine on the toilets every day, but I'm going to get a lawyer on and said, I used to do that and now I'm fine. So success stories. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, get two people who have divorced and still friends. I mean, that would just be number one, wouldn't it? Or the kids and the parents, maybe 3 generations. So there's lots of success stories.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also love what you're doing, Hamish. You're very proactive. And also I love the fact that you're leveraging shorts. You wanna say a word or two on that to inspire others?
Yeah, okay. Do them, make them. This is the one advantage of the editing. As I'm listening or watching through, I'll suddenly see an amazing piece of content that I've written or I've said, and then I will make that for one. So I have every episode I get 5 or 6 of my guests, them answering stuff, and then sometimes there's little bits and bobs that I've done, and I put them out on TikTok and YouTube. So I stack them up on YouTube so they go out twice a day. Not bothering at weekends. Same LinkedIn, not bothering at weekends. And then I tag the guest on LinkedIn. So this morning it was Rory and I had a chat about this. Then there's the link or the video, and then there's another link to the podcast. And then he will comment on it. that's the way I can get other people to talk about it, because you know they then see their tag, or other people will see that Bob's been tagged. So that works. The reels, I send them to everybody as well. So if Maya had been on my podcast, I would send her 5 reels and then just say, look, off you go. And the reels, so
In
yeah,
the zigzag.
they're this shape, so they're 9 by 16. So there's the person talking, who they are, and then what it's about, and then at the bottom there's my logo, and there's me sitting there grinning and nodding and
How
paying
do you do it
attention.
to be superimposed? Is something that you can do? Was the platform allows you to do that?
Can
I
you share
record.
your screen, Hamish?
Yeah, can I do that?
Yeah, let me do it. Go ahead.
Yes, please.
Chrome Riverside, right? Okay. Share. Right. Okay, so I use something called Riverside.
Oh,
It
yeah.
costs me $25 a month, and I use this because I get high quality picture, high quality video.
Is it better quality than Zoom?
Yeah, I mean, if I have a 4K camera, I'll get 4K.
Ah, okay.
So and it records it onto your computer on mine, and then it squirts it into the cloud. So it's
Okay.
it's just that better quality, and the sound is good. And if their internet breaks, it carries on and squashes it all together, and it just keeps on working. So we'll go to Ryan. So then there's our conversation, which I've edited, and then I get all these little shorts that I have made. Why is it not working?
Do you create the shorts yourself, or you just
No, I just well, I'll show you after. So basically, I just click a button and it makes them.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find one survival mode. So this is how I make them. So I click a button because I'm paying for this software. It makes it. So I click a button and it makes it 9 by 16. So it puts them up there, and then that's it.
Oh, yeah.
So once it's got there. So there's my logo at the bottom.
I like that.
And that's how that works. But the app itself makes these. I mean, I will show you very quickly with Narushka.
And what's the app again?
It's called Riverside. Riverside.fm. I'll put a link in the chat just now. So yeah, so all I would do once it's recorded, I've got that. So here we got this thing that says Magic Clips. Can you see that on the left-hand side?
Yep.
So I just click that, and then it thinks about it. See if I make my screen a bit bigger for you guys.
So you don't have to pre-select keywords and length; it just automatically does it.
It does it like that, yes. So sometimes they're useless. I'm going to when I've got a bit of cash, I'm going to get Opus. But I click that, and then so it's almost finished. 5 of 5. And then there we are. So it's given us a whole load of.
Oh yeah.
She talked a lot.
Fast.
Yeah. So, and I can see what it's called, and then I can go edit.
Awesome.
And then this is the magic. This is the magic when I can decide what shape I want it. I can chop out all the ums and ahs. I can chop out all the pauses, so I can make it like that for YouTube, for Reels.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
when it comes to Reels for Facebook, for Instagram, do they create specifically for each one, or you can use the same one on each platform?
I use the same one again, but I can do is I can make them 16 by 9, or I can make them square.
Okay.
And then that's obviously 16 by 9 is the one I use for YouTube.
Okay.
But here I would do that, and then I can add a logo, I can add music, I can add images, and I can choose how I want the text to go. So I did this because it saves me money. It saves me a lot of money and a lot of time. It doesn't save me money, a lot of time. So I use this.
Oh yes. And when
Yeah.
you said you do 5 of those per episode, do you send all 5 at once to your guest or one a day?
I just send the whole lot. I used to use WeTransfer, but it only gives me 2 gigabytes. So I use something else that's unlimited, but it costs me $70 a year. So I just send them everything. I send them the whole video as well, but I'm gonna send I send that after. So
One thing
they've
I
yeah,
do,
so they,
one thing I do before each call, I do it on Zoom. I always ask the other person to record, and for one main reason, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You will get distracted, you will pause the recording, and then you may forget recording. The last thing you want is after
Yeah.
a beautiful 1 hour comes, oops, I forgot to. That happened to me 2-3 times. And what saved me was the other person recording. So this way, there's
Yeah.
no need for me to send them the file and tell them, listen, you record for not only as a backup, but also you can use that for your own social media. So that's one less step for me to do.
Yeah. And while we've got you here, why I use this is because if I want to I just put the text on.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
I can that'll do. Yep. If I want to take out, so I want to edit something, I just highlight the words and then delete them, and it'll automatically chop that out. So I don't have to do anything else. It automatically chops the picture out and the text. So if you're not good at, if you're not used to editing, this just makes life so much easier. So yeah.
And that works on MacBooks and Windows.
Yeah, MacBooks, it only works on Chrome or Edge, so it won't work on Safari or Opera or any of those other ones. So yeah, it works on, but it works on Edge and Chrome, and there's an app for your phone and for your iPad, and yeah.
Okay.
So
awesome.
when I'm still a bit confused about putting reels on YouTube. I mean, how does that look then on YouTube?
You can create an entire section that is just your, just like here, like shorts.
Yeah.
Do you
So
post them? Do you create a separate channel for shorts or just a separate playlist?
Let me see what's going to happen if it's going to play. I've got one podcast and I've got six playlists. So one is about addiction, one is about awakenings, one is about Dark Nights of the Soul. So somebody might be in 3 of these playlists, but I've got it all set up nicely. Oh, here we are. So I've got 14 podcasts, and then the shorts. There's a lot of shorts. The main reason I've done this is so people can find me and say, oh, Hamish is doing this and that. So I've got 50 odd shorts, 57 shorts, but they're being seen.
You're getting some really
300.
good numbers. Yeah, 400. It's amazing.
They are good. Yeah.
That's really helpful.
And then each one of these, if I go to edit, I make a description. I use AI to help me make the description, and then I link a related video. So the shorts all link to the video, the main video of that podcast.
What AI tool do you use to make the descriptions?
That's just ChatGPT.
Okay. So what do? You just put the link of the video, say, create me a description?
No, it gets even better. This program gives me a transcript, gives me all the subtitles. So I just stick all that in and say, go for it. This also makes the show notes. So I get all the show notes.
Beautiful. Yeah. That's time consuming. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gail. So I just click one button and it gives me the highlight, summary. It doesn't give me, I make that one, but it gives me the highlights. I paste the links in, gives me takeaways, sound bites, and all the
I love that. Timestamps.
chapters.
Yeah.
So it does all that. It does all that for me. So I haven't got to spend time.
Wait, it creates the timestamps for you automatically?
It does the whole lot, payment. It's worth that $29 a month. Yeah.
I'm paying a guy to do his chart is good. I've been using it for 4 years now. He's charging me $5 per video to create the timestamps.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, $5. $20 for 5 videos. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that just pays for what you're saying. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Riverside.fm, right?
Yeah, I have to say, Hamish. Yeah, sorry. Go on. Riverside.com, was it?
Riverside.fm. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hamish talked me through this a few weeks ago. I didn't renew my Zoom subscription because of this. I haven't started using it yet, but it just makes complete sense to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Put it on the chat.
I'm just getting there as quick as I can. Where's it gone? There it is. Yeah. It's an affiliate link. Doesn't cost you any more, and I get a couple of quid off you if you do it, or off of the Riverside. But their support is brilliant.
Let's
and they've got
support
a
each
free.
other. Let's support
Yeah,
each other.
and-
I'm gonna sign up for it using your link. Yes.
And the support with Riverside is brilliant, and obviously I've been using it. So if you get stuck, I can talk people through it and things like that. And you can have 7 hosts, so you could do a panel with all of us, 7 people on there, all talking.
Wow.
And what I'm going to do is for my community, they will be able to come along as audience and watch the podcast. So they will get the honor of having to listen to me and David talk about this, that, and the other, and then they can ask him questions. So if that's not a really easy upsell for a program, a community that you want to charge $30, $40, $50 a month for, when they can come along and listen to a couple of podcasts being recorded. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We used to do that with Google Plus in the early days when you could have panels.
Yeah.
And I'm talking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you. Any more questions before we call it a day? Any last questions?
My mind is full.
Really helpful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Simon.
David? All right. Juliana?
Thank you.
Very welcome. Gifty?
Nothing. I just check with Bernadette. I have to keep in touch.
I will connect each other on Facebook. If not, if you want, I can do an intro for you guys on Facebook. Just connect it. Let me actually do it right now.
I did contact Bernadette.
Okay.
I don't
Perfect.
know by Facebook, but I don't know if
Okay.
it was the wrong one.
Bernadette, I'm sorry. We were supposed to have a call last week, but I had something happen. I was focused on my TEDx talk. So please book that call for this week. I'll be happy to get on a call with you. Bernadette, you're muted. Book a call. Book a call.
Yes. I just saw your message before this call. I'm sorry I didn't reply. I didn't see it.
Okay, no worries. All right, if you guys have no more questions, let's call it a day. I'm starving here. And I'll get the video replay of that. And that's why Hassan is here, is going to help me with putting all that. And about 2 hours from now, you get the video up before I head to La La Land. So thank you guys. Hope this was helpful.
Everyone.
Answered all your questions.
Thank you, everybody.
And see you guys in the program. Oh, and don't forget, Wednesday and Thursday this week, we'll have live calls. Social Media Queen and Canva Queen on Wednesday, and on Thursday, Stephen Gillen for PR. He's gonna come talk to us. And Stephen is gonna be something because he doesn't come online a lot. He's busy traveling the world and doing shooting videos for Netflix, literally. And he's gonna be here for us this week on Thursday.
What time?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock Wednesday, 1 o'clock Thursday. But don't worry, I'll post in the group.
Hey, man.
Yes, one last question. Go ahead.
Are these going to be recorded?
All of them are recorded, yes.
Great, because I'm in hospital both days. So, yeah.
Everything okay?
No, but it will be, I'm sure. But yeah.
Sending you all the fastest eating vibes of English in
Wish you
advance.
well.
Yes.
Wish you well.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
All right, guys, have a good one. See you in the group. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.